everybody, it's Tesla. I am here with another video. I wanted to go over what an offer is. This market is bananas. I think everyone, especially if you're buying a home right now, even if you're selling a home, the phrase highest and best is everywhere, right? Please submit your highest and best offer by tomorrow at noon. Everyone kind of understands what highest means, obviously highest price, but what's the best? So I thought it'd be really smart to go, or really helpful to you guys, if I go over the 5 components to an offer. I think the 5th one is definitely underutilized and there's a lot of missed opportunity there. So let's go over them really quick. So the first part is the one everybody really knows. It's the price. This is where it comes in, in highest and best. Highest, it's just the price point that you're willing to pay. In this market, asking price is like baseline. Right now, most offers are going over asking, 10, 15, 20, 50. I've seen 75 over asking. It's bananas. But that is not the only way to get your offer accepted. Not always the highest price is going to win. So let's go over the other components. So number 2, earnest money or a deposit. What does that mean? So at contract here in New York, when you go under contract and you actually sign the contract, you put a deposit. The higher the amount that you put in that deposit, it's better for you and better for your offer, because that means if anything goes awry and you want to walk away from the offer, you lose that money. If on your own you decide, this is not the house for me, I want to get out of here, I just want to buy another house, you have no other excuse, you lose your earnest money, you lose that deposit. So definitely, I recommend putting the highest deposit that you're comfortable with, and that's something that sellers consider. A higher deposit looks more attractive because that means that person is obviously a lot more serious and demonstrating that they really want that home. So that's the second part. Third part is a down payment. So if you have an FHA or VA loan, your down payment, well, not VA, let's talk about FHA. Your FHA loan, generally it starts at 3.5%, which is great for first-time home buyers because most first-time home buyers don't have a lot of money to put down. Unfortunately, in this market, sellers are a lot more attracted to conventional loans. And they really want to see a higher down payment, because the more down payment someone puts down, it mitigates the risk of something going wrong down the line, right? The more money someone's able to put down, the less risky they seem, the more likely they're going to get a loan. And that is definitely attractive to buyers. So even if you have an FHA loan, all is not lost. But if you can put more towards your down payment, it's definitely a good idea. And the terms will just really puts together everything nicely if you do that. So I definitely recommend that. Close date is number 4. Yeah, is number 4. Close date. When you want to close. A lot of people don't take that into consideration and they just put, as soon as possible or 3 months from now. But in this market, it matters. Some people, and this is why it's really important that you have a realtor that has a conversation with the listed agent so you can find out, hey, what are the goals of the seller? Are they in a rush to get out of here? Or do they want to take their time? Trying to gauge what the seller's looking for is the best way for you to be able to say, hey, we could move in as fast as we can, or we can give you a little bit more time if you haven't found your home. If the seller's moving out and they haven't found a home yet, so you give them a little bit of a longer close date. If, for instance, the seller's like, oh, you know what, I don't want to really move until June, you could put that's fine with me, close date in June. So that's definitely something that's really overlooked. And honestly, if the realtor needs to talk to the listing agent to try to get a sense of, hey, what's the seller really looking for. And the 5th one, which I think people really ignore, the 5th one actually is comprised of several different items, so this is miscellaneous stuff. So the 5th one could be inspection, appraisal, the repairs after inspections, rent back, the type of mortgage you're going to use, all these little miscellaneous kind of items. So two of them that people really understand are inspections and appraisal. So you have a right to inspection. In this market, people are going bananas and they're waiving inspection. Something will pop up somewhere so you can see my video on why people shouldn't waive inspections. But this is definitely something that's happening. Waiving inspection is a good idea because I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm saying it's attractive to a seller because, you know, they don't have to worry about any repairs. They don't have to worry about, oh, you know what? The back room doesn't have heat. I don't want to have to deal with that. They're not doing inspection. It's a lot faster. You could get under contracts sooner because if you're, you know, once an offer is accepted, boom, you can go straight into contracts. So people are waiving inspection. Definitely check out my video on the reasons why you shouldn't waive an inspection. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do in this market. If it's a home that was just sold within the last 2 years, you might be getting away with an inspection. Or if you have a family member who's a contractor, have them come to a showing with you. Let them poke around to see, you know, what's going on. Make sure you ask a lot of questions. Ask how old the roof is, how old the water heater is, that sort of thing. That's one item that's definitely something to consider and not something to just not pay attention to. Appraisal. That one's a huge one too. People are waiving appraisals. So what is an appraisal? So once your home gets under contract, once the loan process starts, the bank is going to want to do an appraisal of the home. And the home has to appraise, meaning it has to be worth what the purchase price is. And if it's not, you know, a couple of things can happen. You can renegotiate the cost. So if the purchase price of the home is $500,000, it appraises at $450. Let's say $490. So we bought it at $500, it appraised at $490. Now we have some negotiating power again. You can decide to split the difference. So maybe decide, okay, well, the purchase price will be, you know, $495,000. That's what I mean. So $495. And what would happen is you take out a loan for $490 and you'll have to pay the seller that $5,000 out of pocket. So what's happening? People are waiving appraisal contingency. So they're saying, hey, Mr. Seller, even if this house doesn't appraise, don't worry, I got you. I will pay out of pocket up until a certain amount. So a lot of people either are waiving it completely or they're saying, hey, Mr. Seller, I'm waiving appraisal up to 20 grand, 30 grand. Meaning if it doesn't appraise, so that $500,000 home, if it only appraises at 470, I got you, Mr. Seller, I'm gonna pay you out of pocket $30,000. That is something that's happening. Bananas. Repairs. So if you do an inspection, you could put in there in your offers, and part of the terms would be, you know what, we won't ask for any repairs that are less than $2,000. That's another attractive thing to the seller. So it's like, okay, all the minor things, don't worry, we got it. If it's something major, then, you know, we'll be requesting that repair. So that's another part of that miscellaneous. And one more I want to go over, which I think is becoming super huge right now, is rent back. So rent back means you, in the terms, give the option to the seller to rent back their property after closing. So you'll say, okay, after closing, I will let you rent back the home for 6 months, 12 months. I've seen 18 months. And the reason why sellers are definitely attracted to this, because, hey, they're selling a home, they got to go somewhere else. And they might have trouble finding a home. They don't want to be homeless. So they want that option to be able to stay in their home, pay the new sellers, pay the buyers rent. So no one's really, the buyer's at least getting some rent. But it gives them that comfort to know, okay, I have somewhere to go. That is huge. And that's something you definitely should be paying attention to. These miscellaneous ones, they say highest and best. It's not always the highest. You got to pay attention to the best. hope this was helpful. I'm gonna try to be better about making more videos. So you'll see more in the future. If you have any questions or if you want to reach out to me, my info is below. There's a thing I'm supposed to tell you to subscribe, so please subscribe. Like, comment, tell me how I'm doing. Take care.